Cool. All right. Welcome to 1407 Great Balkan Lane. We're doing a new segment where we're going to talk about the X-Men films and how they were
trash. Sorry.
Yeah. Look at it through an analytical view. Yeah. And we're going to start with our host. That's me. And then we got our guest. We got MJ, Master Jarl. And we got returning guest, Black Girl Marvel. She'll beat your ass and then make a song about it.
You feel me? That's what I do.
She will, she'll make you cry.
Yeah. But it'll be happy tears though, because you'll be so lucky.
She'll make you cry like, man, I'm a virgin by choice, man.
Mm-hmm. You get that Keith Sweat cry, you know what I mean? That break it down R&B cry.
Oh, man. All right. So the movie that brought us together today is the 2019. I don't even really know if you want to call it a film, but whatever. Dark Phoenix, starring James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender. That's all you really need to know.
Thanks.
Let's start. Let's start. Let's start clowning. I made a list of all the things that bothered me and what I like about this movie, like a tally.
Oh, I love lists. Please continue.
Oh, I just so much like Jean, like, you know, this is the beginning, like how Jean Grey just kills her parents, just like,
yeah,
yes.
This is such an easy, such a lazy storytelling to kill the parents.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't understand why Charles was even like a villain, because this 8-year-old girl just killed her mom, and her dad said, I don't want to fuck with her anymore. And I'm like, he's like, I'll give her to you. And he was like, okay. And so he took that child and protected her from all the pain. Mm-hmm. Isn't that what a parent does? Mm-hmm. Like, and then she grew up in a mansion. Her life got better after she started messing with him. So why? No.
Let me just say this, because I like to play devil's advocate.
Go for it.
It's nobody likes to be lied to, for one. Mm-hmm. Right? Regardless if I murdered somebody and then my psyche was like, you shouldn't remember this, so we're going to cover this up for you, to mentally help you cope. Nobody likes to be lied to. So on that side of it, I kind of understand Jean, even though I am not a Jean fan. Like, let's just put that on the record. Okay. Nobody likes to be lied to. And plus, it's a chunk of her memory. It's a chunk of herself. Like, maybe she wouldn't have had like a harder time learning her powers, or even these events wouldn't have led up to what happened if she had known that she had a power that like she couldn't even control it. You know what I mean? Like, it's maybe she wouldn't have been taken over and things like that. Like, nobody likes to be lied to. So like in that instance, Xavier has an issue with keeping things from people that he thinks they shouldn't know.
He's a parent. He acted exactly.
But to me, that's a trash parent, because I feel like you should be able to tell your kids anything, help them understand, help them grow from it and learn. You might hide it for a little bit, and then eventually you'll be like, hey, I need to tell you something. Like, she was pretty much leading everybody during this time. She was a leader. Like, why wouldn't you explain her background to her?
Well, maybe he wasn't there yet, because like, obviously she went crazy when she found out. So
because she been lied to for her whole life.
Yeah, because he was waiting for the right time to tell her. And
there is no right time to tell somebody that they murdered their parents.
No, I think he was never going to tell her.
Thank you.
I don't think he was.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. But like, they acted like Jennifer Lawrence acted like he did something to her. I'm like, whoa. And he, okay.
So like the argument against it is really that like if someone is born with like a mental difference, should you try to change them? Some people will say yes if it means they're going to live better lives. Some people will say no, that you should try to work with them the way they are. I don't know. In this case, she could kill people because of her difference, so I think it's justified. But yeah.
Also, Jennifer, Sophie Turner for the rest of this we called Jonas Brother wife number 2.
Terrible.
No, that's what she is though. She's like,
I can tell that they tried to make this a vehicle for her. Like they tried to make it like a Sophie Turner type of vehicle because they knew that they were going to kill Jennifer Lawrence, and they were like, we need a new white girl to lead this movie.
Yeah.
And she did a good job. She did a really good
Listen, I'm not knocking Sophie's performance. I'm not knocking her performance because you can only, as an actor, you can only do what they give you. You can like try to take their work and you try to elevate it the best you can. But if you're trying to elevate trash, you can only put that up so high. Because to me, what they did was they took like the original like Dark Phoenix saga, and then they took X-Men: The Last Stand and sprinkled them together to make Dark Phoenix, because it started off so good. It started off with them being on that shuttle.
Yeah.
Being so I was like, listen, when I saw that in the beginning, I lost my mind. I was like, okay, it's about to be real, because Last Stand, they were just like, she just birthed herself as a superior being. It's like, sis is powerful, but she ain't that powerful. Like, really, right. She ain't that powerful. But then in this one, I was like, okay, they doing it right. But then by having the flashback of her killing her parents, and then like Professor X saying that she did that with her abilities and her powers are already sure. It was like y'all was trying to make her something that she wasn't, but still be like, here go the Phoenix Force, just so y'all know. I didn't appreciate that. Like, portray her as she is. Like,
the real story is a lot more sadder, because the whole Phoenix thing, like, okay, originally Xavier in the books, like a Jean Grey's friend had got hit by a car, and like Jean was right there, and she mind linked with her friend as she was dying, and it was so powerful. Her reaction was so powerful, it made like a little blip that got the Phoenix's attention. It's like, wow, what the hell was that? Like, sometimes like when you're in a room, and then like the light will kind of flicker, and you go like, hey, what the hell was that? That was Jean Grey for the Phoenix.
That's not her manifesting her powers, though. That's just
it was just like it's just like an outburst of her powers. And Xavier, he blocked out her telepathy because she couldn't handle it, because she was an 8-year-old kid. Like, that's okay. Is that okay?
That's okay, but you don't do it forever.
I don't know. It kind of goes against the Xavier we have right now, who's all about no matter what mutant power you have, we should embrace it, unless you're Orphan Maker and we're going to keep you locked away in a suit.
No, but like also,
I just don't agree with how it was handled. Like,
it was bad.
I don't agree how it was handled. Like, I get, because here's my thing. I get she's like a young child. She's like 8, right? Doesn't understand. And especially, we always know that, like, I'm a quote Charmed here, but I think it works with everything. Power comes from emotions, right? That's why all mutants in the X-Men world become mutants when they like in their teens, because their emotions and hormones and stuff is so powerful and strong during these times that it unlocks those metagenes. So I get an 8-year-old is seemingly a little bit more powerful because of like the emotion, however it is, and you block certain stuff. Like, you still allow them to use their powers, but you block certain stuff. But along the way, you're supposed to remove those blocks, because who am I without these memories? You know what I mean? Like, she's 2 separate people at this point, and then I think that's what the movie was trying to show. They just didn't do it right, but they tried to show like she's 2 separate people. Like, is the Phoenix Force what she would have become if he would have never blocked her? Or would she have always been like this fun, like, let's go to the mall type Jean Grey, you know what I mean? In the stonewashed jeans. Like, she's fighting 2 different dichotomies. And I feel like Charles is a catalyst to that, because he blocked who she could have become, if she you remove it over time. You know what I mean? He's playing God essentially.
One could argue that there would not have been multiple personalities had he not did that block. Like, if she just been raised and on like a world that she couldn't destroy, where she could just master both, she probably would have been fine.
But I don't really mind him putting up blocks because she probably could have been so traumatized, locked within her own mind, or because of her abilities pulled people into her locked mind. It could have been like a WandaVision type of situation if he didn't do that. So I don't mind him putting up blocks, but you don't let her grow up like with those blocks. You take them away a little bit, but I felt like he did that for his own benefit. You know what I mean? He locked her away mentally, so he didn't have to. So he didn't have to deal with it. So
I don't know. I disagree. Like you see a kid. Kids internalize a lot. And if she were to find out that her dad didn't want her after she killed her mom, what does that do to a kid?
But kids are stronger than what people give them credit for. Like, you're looking at it through the emotions of an adult and being like, as an adult, like, that's a powerful thing to go through. But kids bounce back really quick.
Yeah,
kids really do bounce back really quick if they're in a safe environment where they can talk and express and be open. Jean could have easily bounced back from that. Like, she could have bounced back slowly over time if he, like, okay, block her mind, suppress it a little bit, but then slowly let some stuff trickle in. You know, she gonna come to you, ask questions, you know, answer those questions, slowly pull back. But you don't block a huge memory from somebody like that, regardless of how damaging it is. It's a part of who they are.
Yeah, I get that. I totally get that. But
I don't so much know about giving her memories back or undoing the block, but I think it's more important that she maintained that trust with Xavier. The fact that she lost that trust with him just threw her into Apocalypse's hands.
And also, like, the one thing I've noticed about, like, Last Stand sucked. This movie, trash. But the best rendition of this story was the cartoon show.
Easily.
And I think I figured out why.
Nobody's done it right.
Because the movies were not allowed to go full into space. You couldn't do a foot, like you take away that, you put in go full into space, that Xavier stuff goes away because it's a lot better. Because Xavier had nothing to do with that. Nothing. like yeah, he put mental blocks on her head, but like that was only to suppress her powers a little bit, not try to take away her powers. Just like she wasn't ready for them yet. But he let her have the telekinesis. That's cool. Gave her. I don't know.
I don't like you. It'd be a different story if she was like, yes, put blocks up in my head. It's like you taking somebody's free will away. No matter. So this is my opinion. No matter the good intentions, right? Because I get it. Something bad happened to her. No matter the good intentions, like when she got to a certain age where she developed and got older, got a little wiser, you should have brought to her attention that something bad happened in her childhood. I blocked it from your memory because I could tell that you couldn't handle it. Do you want to know about it now? Like, give her the option, because honestly, Charles in this movie was like a Thanos.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Like who asked you to snap? Nobody asked you, bro. Like, nobody came to your doorstep and was like, yo, come wipe out half the world, we dying. Nobody asked for your help. You took it upon yourself to do something nobody asked for. And I feel like Charles does that in every movie. Like when he wiped Moira's mind. Nobody asked you to do that. That's a violation to take it upon yourself to be like, I'm gonna wipe her mind.
I can agree with that when she becomes an adult, but when she's a child, she has to have a guardian. Someone needs to make that choice for her. But I 100% agree when she's like 16, 17, 18, that's when he should have 100%. Probably
I agree when
she's
a child, because she's a child and her father disowned her. So like, who else gonna?
No, I mean,
take responsibility.
And let's be real. Let's give Charles his rose. Like
a rose.
No, hear me out. I've been watching Drink Champs lately, so like giving people their roses. It's a new term.
It's really not, but go ahead. People use it all the time. But okay.
No, but he gave her a better life. He's like, okay, she's gonna have enough of a time being a mutant, but she heard to find out her daddy didn't want her after she accidentally killed her mom. Like, it's It's wrong. Like, at what point did you tell her?
When she's like 18, when she's like an adult, you tell her like
that's not an adult.
18. No, but it is when you've been fighting supervillains your entire life. Like by the time you're 18, you an adult.
You seed it first. You have to first seed it, because I would hate to be an 18 years old and then all of a sudden learn it. First, you tell that your father was not a good person, and then when more and more questions you get slowly give more and more answers until one day, maybe it's 18, maybe it's 15, probably later because of the teenage hormones. I would probably want to do a little later, but I would definitely feed small bits sooner.
And Charles said in the movie, he's like, she's gonna go to her dad's house. She's not gonna be happy what she finds, because like everything that happened was exactly what Xavier didn't want. He's like, don't go to your dad's house. Please don't go to your dad's house.
No, but think about it though. She thought both of her parents was dead. So you've been lying. Like, so when she comes to realization, you've been lying to her from jump. Right? Even if you put mental blocks up in her head, right?
Yeah.
At least tell her like, your father is still alive, but he felt like you needed to be here for some other reasons that, I'll explain to you as you get older. But like, she thought like her mama dead for sure, but she thought her daddy was dead too. Like I would rather somebody not want me and I know that than me craving to be with them, than me wanting to, see them and be with them and things like that. Like, or keep thinking about what could have been. Like, if he didn't want me, like, I need to know. I just feel like you can't do things on the off chance that you think something bad is going to happen. You can't do that to people. You got to let the bad happen and then deal with it.
He was being a helicopter.
Not when she ate though. Not when she ate. Like, I ain't saying like when she ate, but like over time.
17, you start like hinting, like, you sure you want to know? Give her an option, like, hey, do you want to know?
Yeah, but I feel like if he opened up that communication, it would have been different than when everything spilled out. But I think the fact that she had all this energy, all this power, amplifying her emotional state already, and then found out that pretty much everybody that she looked at as an authority figure has lied to her.
Magneto didn't lie to her. Magneto was like, leave. I don't
know.
No,
but see,
I know.
But also Magneto be doing stuff in his own game too. He'd be like, but see, Magneto and Charles are like the same side, like the different sides of the same coin. So like, they both have valid points, and if they could just put those points together, I think the mutant world would be great. But since they can't, it's like it's gonna be one side or the other.
No, but also what I like about Charles in this movie, though, like something that Raven was really getting on. He's like, why are you appeasing to the humans? And he's like, you know how close? Like, we're like one bad day away from them just turning on us. And he was saying that. He was being like, really? I'm a history buff, you guys. I was like, people compare Xavier to Malcolm, to Martin Luther King. Like, no, he's more like a Frederick Douglass. He was kind of playing both sides. He was
in the films, I would say. In the comics, he is more like a Martin Luther King. But in the movie,
I mean.
Okay.
Like, he was kind of like doing both, but like, in the comics, he is more Martin Luther King. But like, he was being like, he knew what was up. He knew he was trying to play the game. He was really trying to play the game with humans, and because he knew how they got down. And first chance they got, they turned on. It's like, hey, let's start bringing back mutant camps. I don't
know. I mean, all in all, I feel like this movie could have been great if they would have just took the source material from like the animated one. The animated one is like highly revered. It was 4 parts. It was highly revered. And I think that's why people aren't getting it, is that this story is way longer than like a 2-hour movie can put into words. Like, you need to like really like lengthen this story, because it's so vast, it's so much, it's so many moving parts. Like, literally them being in space could have been one movie.
Yeah.
But before we can truly appreciate a Phoenix movie, I think we need 2 X-Men films with a Jean Grey. We need a solo film with her. Like, to have something personal.
We don't need a solo film with Jean Grey. That's a little too much. No,
that's like I don't know, to have a personal connection with someone. We wouldn't have cared about Iron Man unless we got all those films with him.
Yeah, but we also care about Hulk, and he doesn't have a movie.
I don't really care about the Hulk. He's a joke compared to the comics.
Damn.
He's freaking a joke.
That's cold, man.
I always tell people that Universal still had control over the Hulk, so they couldn't do much. So the Hulk that we got, I appreciate that he was even in it.
Right.
But because Universal was like, no, y'all can't do all the other stuff y'all want.
Hey, like, no. Yeah. I like the Hulk we got in the first two films, but then like the Professor Hulk was a joke, and then losing to Thanos was just sad.
Losing to Thanos didn't bother me because the way I look at it, actually, I'm gonna do a TikTok about this because I want to go back and do like a character analysis of the first six.
Yeah.
Because we see them the most, even though we see, some people the least. Okay, but we see them the most. But I feel like with Hulk, like in the movie frame, it's like it makes sense. Like after a while, when I started to really pay attention, it makes sense that he lost to Thanos because the Hulk himself has no skills. He is just pure rage, a brawler. He just fights. We saw in the Avengers when if enough of them is on him, he's incapacitated for the most part. And it's only when he was able to they were able to blend themselves together that he's smarter. Because you saw in Endgame, no, not Infinity War, that Bruce isn't that bad at like machines, and when he was in the Hulk Buster and being able to fight, he has some skill when it comes to that. But the only thing that they did wrong for me was that we didn't see him go through the whole becoming Professor Hulk. We just blinked, and my man was like, "I'll put the brains and the brawn together, and look at me." And it was
a bull. It was a bull. It was a really like we couldn't see this. We couldn't.
I think we'll learn that in She-Hulk, though. I think we're going to learn more about how he became Professor Hulk in She-Hulk.
I appreciate that.
That'd be nice.
One thing I did not like about the Hulk in Endgame was that it seemed like Iron Man did more damage to Thanos than Hulk.
Well, I think it kind of goes back to what Black Girl.
But also think about it too. In Endgame, he was injured.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah,
and he was injured. So I feel like if he did take on Thanos, especially this Thanos, because this Thanos was a different Thanos than what we got. In Infinity War, we had like peaceful Thanos. You know what I mean? In Endgame, we had like war Thanos. Like the first time the first time he came out of the portal, he had his little sword. It had blood on it, and that's the first time we saw him like battle hard. And it was like, okay, he a little different. This go around, okay.
And he would have
died. He would have died easy.
And I just loved how how Thanos, he was like, okay, I'm just gonna sit right here, and they're gonna come to me. And he was just chilling. He was like Marvin from Baby Boy.
Yeah, he was. He just wasn't butt naked. You know what I mean? He just wasn't butt naked.
I mean, he did start taking off his clothes Yeah, but with all right, Dark Phoenix. Storm did nothing. Nightcrawler did nothing. Quicksilver did nothing.
Listen, the most disrespected character in the X-Men Marvel universe is Storm. The most disrespect. She is an Omega level mutant.
Only one. Oh man, that's debatable. I mean, she's the only person with her powers, so that's.
No, she's charted as an Omega level mutant. You're not gonna disrespect Storm while I'm on this show. You're not gonna do it.
No, okay. I'm just gonna say this. She is the Scottie Pippen to Cyclops' Jordan, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Honestly, she's better than Cyclops. Don't do that.
No, I want to state my opinion. I think Storm is beyond Omega level. I think she's nearly at Goddess level. I don't know if that's what level that is at, but
I'll take it.
But the Morlocks, though, she's vain. She's like, oh, I'll take over the leader of the Morlocks. Hey, the Morlocks are calling. Tell them I'm not here. Tell them, just tell them I'm not here. That was Storm all throughout the Claremont run. That's That's how she was on the TV show.
And
she is vain.
She's not vain. She is a woman who knows who she is.
Vain.
She's gonna that ain't vain. And she gonna know and she gonna do what she needs to do. I love Storm. That ain't vain.
So
maybe I don't agree with every choice she's made, but I do believe Storm consistently chooses to save the most amount of people when she can.
Yeah, she's dope. I love Storm. But like I'm just saying, when things get like when after House of M, what'd she do? Left for Africa? What?
I would have went home. Bye.
No, she went to Africa for a dick.
Right.
I would have went. Why not?
Students needed her. And she was like,
bro. But think about her whole trajectory, right? Like for the most part, like they use her as a secondary character. Mm-hmm. When we need cloud coverage, Storm, can you help us? Like she can do more. Like she went from being like a worshipped goddess to helping people on the daily, like whether it was let's get this rain popping so the fields can grow and like let's do this, to working with a group of people that minimized her and didn't really understand her. Yeah. And then on top of that too, she was amongst people who kept being in relationships. Mm-hmm. And she was just like sitting here. So I would have left for some dick too. Like, bye.
Whoa. No. She had relationships. No, okay. At the time she left for Africa, she was dating Nightcrawler, and they were really.
Listen, that was one aspect of like X2 that I thoroughly enjoyed, and I thought they were going to like dig deeper into that, and they just dropped that whole.
They really did though.
That was very similar to the whole Black Widow.
Hulk thing.
They just dropped that. I was just like, this was intriguing. This was a nice little break from the monotony of these films, and they just dropped it.
Yeah, I thought it was nice. I mean, it makes sense because, like, let's face it, Storm's a baddie, and you think like they always make it like Nightcrawler's kind of like a ladies' man. You would think he wouldn't try to shoot his shot.
Facts.
Oh, come on. Facts. The first thing he'd be like, "Yo, I'm gonna talk to her."
Especially like, early Storm when she was a nudist.
Yeah.
No, come on. The
SS. But Storm never got like no offense to what's that girl name? What's her name?
Jean Grey.
No.
Kitty Pryde.
Alexandra Shipp, who played Storm.
Yeah.
No offense to her. Okay. But it was trash.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it was trash.
It was trash.
But also Halle Berry's
hard character though.
Too. No, hers was. I feel like both were trash. For me, they didn't look aesthetically. I'm talking just looks right now. Aesthetically, they didn't look like Storm.
No.
And that was a problem for me.
In the second one,
it's a hard character to really encapsulate because she's an African princess that doesn't act like an African princess anymore. She acts like a New Yorker who. I don't know. It's a hard one. There's so many different types of Storm you could play.
But you have to pick one though, right? Because in the first one, in the Bryan Singer ones, she had an accent in the first one. That shit dropped by the time we got to the second and third one.
Oh man,
it dropped. And then they cut her hair, gave her like black and white hair. Nobody asked for that.
And then the second one, they made her a blonde.
And then it's like no, in this one, in the new, like in the rebooted ones, they made her blonde. But I didn't mind that because they kind of looked like they were going for her Morlock look a little bit, and I actually didn't mind that because I'm like, okay, we're in a different age, so okay, give me something different. Don't give me the same, because she could eventually grow into the white haired, long haired like Storm. Right. So I had no problem with that. But they made her Kenyan, I think, and she ain't Kenyan. I don't believe she's Kenyan in the comics.
No. She's Kenyan.
Is she Kenyan in the comics?
Yeah, she's Kenyan.
I think she's Kenyan. Okay.
It's weird.
I thought she was something else, but okay, if she Kenyan, that's fine. But I just feel like she grew up idolizing Mystique. Like, what are we doing? Like, I was just like, what is happening in this?
No, okay, all right.
How did we make Mystique like the savior? Like, I didn't understand this timeline. I was like, we definitely not in 616. Like, I was like, this is weird.
I think part of the problem is they're trying to validate these characters by making them like other people that we've already grown to like. Because we didn't get 3 movies with her, they're just going to kind of just throw in pieces like that. Oh, she always loved Mystique, see? So she's always been connected, even though she was thrown in there randomly.
Right. I don't like stuff like that. Like, I don't think they had a good...
That was a weird noise.
I didn't hear that. What happened?
No, no.
But so you got a ghost? Because if you got a ghost, you might.
I ain't scared no ghost. All right, I will like a ghost. A ghost don't pay rent, so I will mess up a ghost.
Okay, you say that now?
Like no, I got my ancestors protect me.
Not your ancestors.
No.
We don't see you next week. We know what happened.
Right. Exactly. The ghost got him.
Right. No, this movie also Jessica Chastain. Like I had to actually look to see what her name was because like I thought it was Chastain, Chase. I don't know.
Chastain.
Yeah, she's good. I mean, I guess like she doesn't really do a lot. I don't know. This movie sucks.
Her character is very monotone.
Yeah.
Her character is very like one level. I'm not saying she didn't do a good job. Not at all. Like Jessica Chastain came on board and was like, "Oh, we're gonna put in this work. All right, let me do this. Let me do my job." And she did her job.
Right.
But the character for me didn't have any levels. It was like, okay, you're menacing. The moment she stepped on screen at those people's homes, you were like, okay, something's different about this person. Like, who is this person? And then throughout the film, I was like, so you just want her power? Like, that makes you not unlike any other villain I've seen who just want power. Like, what else is there? Like, sometimes I think films like really, really suffer from like writing. Or as Deadpool would say, like lazy writing.
Right.
and to me, her character was lazy. It was like you needed, because like it was like if Raven was the angel on her shoulder, on Jean's shoulder, then this character was the devil on her shoulder. And it was like, I've seen that trope happen a lot. Give me something different. Even if you're gonna do that, like, angel and devil thing, it has to be better. It has to be more dynamic, especially in a superhero film.
Right. The thing about it is though, that would have been a really good way to do Storm, because in the books, Storm and Jean are best friends. You're like, I thought they could have taken out Mystique and just put Storm in that role. It would have made a lot more sense. You would have been rooting for Storm to get to her friend. You know what I mean?
Now that goes back to my argument that we needed just more from Jean. We needed 2 movies and a solo film, in my opinion, before we get a Dark Phoenix.
Yeah,
I make the argument that we need a solo film for pretty much the amount of TV shows we're getting. We should just get solos for every mutant, all the main mutants.
Honestly, I wouldn't. Some stuff, I feel like some stuff would be better in TV. I personally don't like the Jean Grey character because I feel like she's a Mary Sue to the highest degree, and
definitely.
And when you focus on a Mary Sue, you neglect other characters that are to me are just important, just as dynamic as any. Because like Cyclops can be a very interesting character, but they relegate him as like Jean's boyfriend, husband. Like that's how they relegate him. Like the dude, like the power that he has, like the optic being,
he's a beast.
You know what I mean? Like he can be. And then on top of that too, he used to lead the X-Men. Like we never saw him really in charge. The moment we saw him on screen, him and Logan was just like, this my bitch, no, that's my bitch. Like this, like they going back and forth. Like it's like, what are we? You lead a team that goes out and saves the world. Like they, if you really look at all 3 of those first X-Men movies, and even these, they making like love stories with powers in it. And I think that's why the MCU is doing it better, because like you barely got relationships in the MCU. And if you do got relationships, they're like team member relationships. It wasn't until Eternals that we actually saw somebody in the MCU have sex.
Right.
How they should do Cyclops to make us think he's a better leader, because I really worry about him. If they fail him again, it could really ruin all of X-Men for us when it comes to Marvel, to the MCU. I'm thinking they should make him a veteran. I think he should join the army. I don't know if it's some special squad where he can use his powers or he keeps his powers hidden, but if he's like a soldier, I think people will believe he's a really good leader more.
They need to get off Wolverine's dick and actually show. Like,
you can show other people. Leave Wolverine. Yeah. I feel like Wolverine, if I'm being totally honest, Wolverine, Jean Grey, Cyclops, they can disappear from the X-Men for a minute. They can, whenever the X-Men come into the MCU, they can always be on mission somewhere doing something, and then you gotta do this new core of X-Men as the leads that's like in the places that they would have been in. Because I'm tired of seeing all 3 of them Because the first thing they gonna do when they pop up is love triangle. That's the first thing they gonna do. I don't care.
No,
I disagree that we need new cast every movie. We need to learn these characters and maybe not have it be Wolverine, Jean, and Cyclops. Maybe those are not the first three. Maybe we do Beast, Iceman, and a Storm or something. I don't know, but
I'm not mad at that lineup though.
I'm
mad at that lineup.
Hey, way I would do it, just change the perspective every movie. That way, also when you change the character, you also can change the genre. So that, let's say we were to make Nightcrawler the focal character of one movie. You can make that like a crazy action adventure comedy swashbuckling kind of thing. But if you were to change the focus and have it on Storm, it could be something else. You know.
But see, this is why the MCU to me is tops, because they did something that a lot of films they don't do. They have literally a universe, a through line that you can actually follow. So what they did was they had Iron Man, and they were like, let's start this off with him. He's going to be our central character that bleeds throughout all these movies, even though he doesn't bleed through like people's origin stories, which is to me, except for like Spider-Man, but that's different. That's different. It's not, you know.
Yeah,
it was. I mean, you know, but I meant like their first film, like in that. But to me, that makes sense because like that's his Uncle Ben, so like that makes sense to me. But,
wow, he is the Uncle Ben.
He's his Uncle Ben.
He died.
That's his Uncle Ben, so that makes sense to me. But what X-Men needs to do, because the X-Men are the X-Men, and it's such a huge roster of people that eventually come in, they need a central character to focus on, and then you build characters out of that character, just like they did with Iron Man. Because like Iron Man had like pretty much every lead had like 3 movies, except for Natasha and the rest of them, but like everybody had like 3 movies interspersed in between other movies that kept the storyline moving. And if they did, and X-Men has enough material, even for like their separate characters, that you can easily do that. And because the MCU did it with 6 characters, essentially. Like, even though they focus on the main 3 dudes, but they did it with like 6 characters. Right, so I feel like X-Men could do the same thing. They just going about it wrong. Like, they keep trying to stuff all these people into these movies because they're like, oh, people know these characters. They've already seen them before. But it's people that don't know the comics, haven't watched the Bryan Singer like stuff to know, haven't watched the cartoons. So they just got to do it better, because I feel like X-Men could be one of the best. One of the best if they do it right.
All right. So who do you think then? Who do you think should be that stay character?
It should change. Like, all right. Here's what
I don't think it should. I think you should have an initial one. Like this needs an Iron Man version. Like this needs an Iron Man to start it off with. And if I'm being honest, Wolverine could have easily been that Iron Man, but they saturated him so much with the Hugh Jackman films that I'm not for it. But if I'm gonna be honest, because people are more interested in seeing a white man take lead and go first. So if I'm gonna go that way, I would say if they make Scott Summers the Iron Man of this, because he essentially becomes the leader of the X-Men, it will make more sense for him to be a focal point, and then everybody branches out from over him, and then he gets say he gets 3 movies, but in the interim after his first movie, we start seeing his relationship with Jean Grey. Maybe Jean Grey gets something in that. And then after her movie, he get his second movie. And then from that, we get Storm. And then we get all 3 of them together to build up that legacy, like that tribunal that we know of the core X-Men to be. And then he gets his 3rd movie. And then Jean gets a movie. Then Storm gets a movie. Then more people start showing up. Like it needs to be like a branch of a timeline. Because right now, these movies go in such circles that I'm like, I don't know when nobody's born. I don't know what year this takes place. I don't know.
And the love triangle is inevitable, the love triangle. But I'd rather we get a couple movies where we're like, oh yeah, Scott and Jean love each other. That is a unbreakable relationship. And then all of a sudden a sexy Wolverine shows up in a 3rd film. And he's young and wild looking, and I don't know. Maybe
or maybe we go the other way and we just don't have a love triangle. Maybe it's a hint. Maybe it's a hint of that could have possibly been something if we just work with other people, and then we move on and have Wolverine be with Storm or something like that. Bring in that storyline. Let Wolverine be with somebody else. Like, to have this mutant pining over this girl that he just met in 2 seconds.
And she's like 19 and he's like 40.
Like, come on.
There's a pheromone element for Wolverine, but
that doesn't make it okay.
I mean, it's a pheromone element with humans. Like,
yeah, but like
it's
40 going after a 19-year-old though, like even
the MCU is not typically known for doing love stories, so we probably won't get the Trump.
I hope we don't. I really don't, because I feel like some stuff in the background is better than it being like in your face.
Mm-hmm.
There needs to be 2 sets of X-Men movies. Think about it: X-Men Blue, X-Men Gold, like they used to do back in the books.
I mean, with the multiverse coming, that can easily happen.
No. There's 2 different sets of X-Men, and they have their own separate movies. And then like that way, when they cross over, that's when you bring in the love story. That's when because like we will get a couple movies where we see Storm's like one of the best leaders around, and we also see Jean as her Scottie Pippen. Nothing wrong with being a sidekick.
I mean, but if you look at Scottie Pippen's like stats, he a little, he's not that far below Jordan. I'm just saying, like,
no, I'm not saying Scottie Pippen's bad. I'm just like
No, I'm just saying though. Sometimes people forget the sidekick when they stats is maybe 1 or 2 points away from the top person. It's just, just like,
I'm a big fan of sidekicks. Robin, Scottie Pippen, Haji from Hot Johnny Quest. I like sidekicks. They play their position. They're the right hand man. Sometimes you need that right hand man.
And normally, like, the first sidekick is usually becomes a better version of the person that trained them.
Boom.
Usually the first sidekick. Right. I'm talking about, not talking Jason Todd. I'm talking about
Dick Grayson. Let's Dick
Grayson, Nightwing over here.
That's not really.
Let's go.
It's not really the case in Marvel though. Yeah. Like I'm thinking like Wolverine, the female Wolverine. She's not really a better version.
I mean,
I feel like she's a more interesting version.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
I won't say she's better, but also she didn't really get trained under him, so to me she doesn't qualify.
Fair.
So
no, actually, if you want to say a sidekick, Kitty Pryde would be Wolverine's sidekick. He trained.
But we talking like movies.
Oh yeah, no. Oh, okay. I was a way to introduce X-Men through Kitty Pryde.
I wouldn't be mad at that either.
Yeah,
honestly.
No, check this out. They introduced her the same way they did in the books. It's the day after the Dark Phoenix saga. Okay, that just happened, so she doesn't know anything about it. Mm-hmm. So she's coming in, and we just kind of figure like a character piece. Let's do some character pieces. Like we don't need big adventures with. Like, we want to see these characters interact with each other. Like if you lived in a mansion with like 6 other people, and they all got mutant powers, what would you get into? Come on,
everything. But see, exactly. but I think that's what fell short with Bryan Singer's version is because
no imagination.
There was everything was dark. Everything was like adultish, and for the most part, with the X-Men, like they were like mid kids, like not teenagers, but like early 20s. You know what I mean? Like out here, like doing things and like protecting the world at this age and doing certain things. Like we never got that build up. Like it would make sense for us to get the build up into how they became X-Men than to just drop us in the X-Men fire and be like, enjoy.
Well, that's why we're gonna really benefit from the fact that this time when we get X-Men, we're gonna have the benefit of having TV shows to go with it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I want a movie about a young Jean Grey and a young Cyclops. Maybe flashbacks I would be okay with. But
we already got that. I don't think they're gonna do it
again. No. Also, like the thing about it is though, with the Bryan Singer 2000 X-Men, that was just the style of the time. They like their whole thing was we're gonna try to play it super serious. We're not gonna have any of that like comic book craziness. We're gonna just like, okay, this is the real world and there are mutants.
But I I think it's very hard to compare.
It was a tone.
Those movies, like the Bryan Singer X-Men, the Fantastic Four, like even the Sam Raimi Spider-Man, to like what we have now, because it's vastly different, like in terms of like how you do a superhero film.
Yeah.
Right? Because back then they didn't really cater to the fans. They were just like, we're gonna put some stuff in it, we're gonna make a movie and we're gonna put some stuff in here. I don't feel like they really catered to the fans. I don't feel like they really pick people to like portray these characters the way they need to be portrayed. Because no offense to Tobey Maguire, I love the Sam Raimi Spider-Man film because I grew up on those films. But he looked 50. He looks 50 in those films compared. Like when I go back to watch him, he looks like like you in high school, bro. How many times you get left back because you're not in high school? Because if you compare him to even like Andrew Garfield's, even like Tom, if you compare them, they looked kind of young enough to be believable, to be like, okay, these kids are in high school. Even though Andrew Garfield should have played college.
He should have been an adult Spider-Man.
He should have been college Peter Parker, and I'm a down that hill. Yeah. Because the way he was acting in those first two Amazing Spider-Man, I was like, bruh, this is college antics, what you're doing.
Hey, that was great. I mean, like that first movie when that carjacker, he was in the back seat. He's like, do I look like a cop? Do I look like a cop? I'm like,
but I feel like that's the air of somebody that's had their powers for a while, super used to them, knows their abilities to a T, and can just like have fun and doing it. Right. Whereas Tom Holland's was just like, they brought him into a point where he was still messing up. He was like, he was getting caught on YouTube. He was still streaming, doing stuff. And I liked that aspect of it because I was like 14, 15 and got bit by radioactive spider, and I got abilities. And it takes place in this century, like in this era. Of course I'm gonna be on YouTube. Of course I'm gonna take videos. Of course I'm gonna take Iron Man got me on this plane, and I'm like, of course I'll do this thing.
You're making selfie. You're taking a selfie on the Avengers Tower. Like,
bro,
I'm with this dude.
He was doing Civil War. He was taking video. He was vlogging his entire journey.
That was dope.
Like that's just like smart thinking, and that's why I like Tom Holland. For me, Tom Holland is my Spider-Man as much as I do enjoy Tobey Maguire, as much as I do enjoy Andrew Garfield. I just like the fact that they got somebody that was like young, a little nerdy, but he was like sweet in a way. It was his portrayal for me was just believable. That's all. I'm not knocking the other two because I still enjoy. I own all the Spider-Man films. But
right, oh yeah, no. But the thing with Tom Holland with me is like you felt for him. Like when we saw him in Civil War, when he was saying like all the bad stuff, I'm like, kid, bro, it's okay. I'm not gonna get any. Like you're good. You're good. I'm not gonna bang your mom. I'm not gonna bring your aunt.
Like please don't. Don't.
Hey, Aunt May was looking good.
I appreciated that too. I appreciated we didn't get no old crusty stale Aunt May. Like I was like, y'all killing me. I was like, because I always was trying to do that math. I was like, okay. Peter came to them when he was like what, 7 or 8 or something.
Right.
And I was like, were they 80? Like what? Like how old were they? Like I was like, and I get it, like that's your aunt. Like that's your aunt or whatever. But it's like, so if that's your aunt, that means that's your daddy's sister.
Or your mom's sister.
Or your mom's sister, and their ages were like day and night. I was just like, what are we doing? So Marissa Tomei
old as hell.
Listen, Marissa Tomei as his auntie, I thoroughly enjoyed that. I was like, she's like the perfect age to be the auntie. And if we thinking about this, like this year, like this genre, like this generation, aunties don't look like the other aunties.
And she commented on that too. It's like aunts come in all shapes and sizes. Like we're women too. Duh. Like,
exactly. Like I made like because think about it, people having kids are like 18.
True.
So like.
Hey, wouldn't it be crazy though if like Aunt May was black? It was like, whoa! Like
honestly, I feel like anybody can be your auntie. Like as grown, growing up in a black household, like even though I got like true to form white family, I got black aunties, I got white aunties, I got all that type of stuff. So it's like I didn't see no problem with it. I would like if movies did that more, because who's to say what family looks like to other people?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You don't know what my family looks like. I could have a Mexican auntie, you wouldn't know.
Exactly.
You know?
Like, I know, I just think it would be really crazy. Like, yeah, it's like, you know, like aunts come in all shapes and sizes. Like, if Nia Long ended up being his mom.
His auntie, come get these collard greens, baby. Come get the sweet potatoes. Like, go get this food, babe. But I will say, on a different note, on a DC note,
sure.
If Batgirl not black,
yes,
because Jim Gordon is black, I'm gonna have a problem. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, just saying.
If Barbara ain't African American or some variation of it, because like I just feel like, to me, that's a bold statement for them to even make Jim Gordon a black man. I feel like that's a bold statement.
It really is. It really is.
Because if we really think about it, Jim Gordon being any race, honestly, don't really matter, seeing as though, because his race doesn't inform his character.
Really doesn't.
Doesn't really matter. It only matters if it informs his character. Like, any person, any shade, any color can be like a lieutenant turned governor turned commissioner, like, you know, all that type of stuff. It can be anything.
Like Two-Face could like Harvey Dent in the original Batman movies, he was played by Billy D. Williams, and they were intentionally to make him Two-Face. So I'm like, wow, they're making Two-Face black? Okay, but he
honestly, they can shake up the whole Rose Gallery for that, because I mean, like, for the most part, any of those characters, like, don't get me wrong, keep Batman a white man, because just stop playing. But keep him a white man. But I feel like any of his villains could be any race. They just don't have to be white. They can be any race, because their race doesn't inform their character, right? So, but like I said, like, I feel like Batman could be any race, but Bruce Wayne, to me, is a Caucasian man. So
there's this TikTok.
Same with Superman. I don't think you can make a black Superman. Not Clark Kent. Like, you could do a different Superman, obviously, but not a naive.
No, Clark Kent can't be a black man. I'll die on that hill too. Like, I never agree on changing a person's ethnicity, because like, people always have this argument with me. They're like, "But what if Black Panther was a white man or an Asian man?" I'll be like, "That's fine, but they can't be T'Challa. Like, you can't make a white man T'Challa,
right?
But you can put anybody in that suit."
I think most mutants you can. I think most mutants you can switch the race on. I don't think it would change their character too much. Like Wolverine, I think he could be Native American or Asian.
No, I agree.
I don't agree.
But that's essentially what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't, changing Wolverine, to me, Black Panther, Captain America, those are mantles. Yeah. Right. Anybody can be underneath those mantles. But I feel like you can't be Steve Rogers. You can't like, I feel, this is my personal opinion, you can't cast somebody as Steve Rogers and they not be a white man. Like, to me, that just doesn't work to me. Get another name, get somebody else, and they can be Captain America. But for me,
do you think Jean Grey could be black?
Yeah, I could see it.
That's what one of me and my friends argue all the time, is that I think she could be black.
I think so, but it'd be like, but she would have to be like really, really like passing. Like, she has white girl problems, but I don't know. Like,
I think Jean Grey can be black or any race. I think she could be any race, but they would have to infuse her character with more of the race that she is for it to work. But I feel like Jean Grey can't be any race.
A lot of these kids, though, they're taken as kids. They're not really raised around their cultures and whatnot. They're raised around mutant culture more than their families, right?
But they still were raised with their families, though. I mean, like,
well, I feel like culture and can't think of the other word I'm looking for, but culture is different for a lot of people, because for the most part, people will say that white people have no culture. Mm-hmm. They do have like traditions and things that they have, but like, because that's like saying like, okay, let's compare Jean Grey's culture to Aurora Monroe's culture. Like, it's you know what I mean? Like, that's my way of thinking about it. So like, that's the way I look at it. Like, for me, Aurora Monroe cannot be played by any other character, because because her culture is infused.
Yes.
Her being Kenyan is infused in her being Aurora Monroe. Same thing with like Kurt Wagner. Like you can't, like he's German for a reason. You know, it's a reason why he's German. Yeah. You know, so like, but then if you did say like, okay, I want him to be somebody else, his last name would have to change. He can still be Kurt. His last name would have to change, and then like his I guess his culture would have to change.
Well, I asked you this,
or at least the pronunciation of his last name. It's like Wagner, Faulkner.
MJ, I think we talked about this, but like Nightcrawler could be black because there are black Germans.
No, it is.
There are black
but it's black everybody. It's black Irish.
Right.
Like
so
everything, yeah.
You're right. So I'm saying
what she's getting at,
Kurt could be black.
I think what she's getting at is that, so like the reason I say mutant kind could be like any race is because mutant kinds, they're typically prosecuted because of their race, so it'd be really easy to switch their race up again. But then you add on the third caveat that Nightcrawler is German. He acts German. He is German. Sure, there is black Germans, and you could do a black German, but at that point, it's unnecessary.
Right.
But I mean, but also at this point, anybody can bleed. Actually, it could be a black man. He painted blue. You wouldn't know.
Right.
Unless you knew the actor. So it's
Absolutely.
like. But he wouldn't be known as like the black German mutant. He would just be like the German mutant. You know what I mean? Like,
and that's what I want. And that's why, like, they like, let's say, in the movie or show, like, they lose their powers, and Nightcrawler is he looks like a baseline human, and you find out he's black. Like, wait, you're black? He's like, yeah, yeah.
Not black. With the hands. You so irritating. Not with the hands.
It's like, yeah, I've been black this entire time. Like, what you? It's like, no, I just didn't know.
I mean, if we could call a spade, mutants are treated as people of color. So if they wanted to make the whole roster people of color, it's like, can you really be mad about that? Because it's like, it's based off of those prejudices anyway. But I mean, but to me, that's not a good aesthetically. That's not a good. I need like a barrage.
I want it to match modern statistics. And modern statistics is like white people are like 60%. So at most, the X-Men should be 60% white, but it's like 90% white. So I do think we need to change some races.
It could be said that a lot of like mixed race, a lot of people of color see the X-Men and they're like, no, I'm good. I'm not defending my life. No, I'm good. I don't need that.
Honestly, instead of changing races, because like if you want to keep Mystique white, even though she blue, because she could change it to any color she wants to, essentially. She could change it to any color she wants. She could be a black woman one day and an Asian woman the next. If that's the case, instead of changing the core ones, why don't we just bring in the people of color that's already in the X-Men and let that be a new starting point for these films?
Okay.
Like there's people of color in X-Men, in the X-Men universe that they can bring in and start dealing with the same roster.
I 100% agree, because I don't want to disrespect Bishop, but at the same time, like I said, they're like 90% are white, and that just does not match modern statistics. If mutant kind shows up in all humans, it should be the mutants should be a representation of the American statistics.
It seemed like the mutant gene only like white people in the X-Men were like.
Same with the Eternals too, Eternals.
Right, that was so weird. No, but like I always thought, like, what if the X-Men had, instead of, they had more physically altered mutants at first, like that,
like deformed, like deformities, or
no, not deformed. No, I mean like physical mutations, like Beast. Nightcrawler, Angel.
That's a deformity, my man. Blob is a walking deformity.
A physical mutation.
I respect that.
No, Blob is a deformity.
No, Mystique is a deformity. No, I'm playing. No, that's me. No, but yeah, more stuff like that. So really show the difference between humans and mutants, and really show that like humanity. Like, let's face it, if we were to have mutants right now, they would not be hated and feared yet. There would be like a pretty privilege, because you'll get like mutants who are like, who can fly and who can like do stuff like flash.
You're counteracting the religious element.
Oh no! I said a pretty privilege, not like a Now I'm like saying
Yeah,
like,
but like religious people would think we're demons or something.
Right, but
So
I feel like if we took the roster now, I kind of get what you're saying. So I kind of get what you're saying. I mean, I kind of agree, but I kind of don't at the same time. But that's the whole thing about the debate. Because I get what you're saying, because the roster that we have now, everybody's pretty, and nobody has like a mutant, like a mutagenic like deformity. I'm gonna use both of them. So I get what you're saying. Like, if they existed in this world now, people would be like, but they pretty and they look nice and they're okay. But if they saw somebody like Hank McCoy transform into a beast, it would be pitchforks and people will go crazy. But I feel like it makes more sense to have more mutants that have physical outliers, like how we saw in The Last Stand. Like some people just can't help it. Like I like it's kind of, and it's also kind of like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when they got with the Terrigenesis. Like, not every, of course Daisy came out still pretty. It's like she got prettier. It was like, all right, girl. But some people came out, like old girl came out with like looking like a bird. You know what I mean? Look like feathers. But in the X-Men world, it's like nobody had. It's like two people have a like an outlier, and they both blue.
Right.
Well, all three of them blue, because like if you think about it, Hank, Mystique, and Kurt, they all blue.
Oh, Archangel too, depending on who's what time you're using them.
But oh yeah, that's true. But at least he can hide his though. He can be
right. No, I get it. No, but like the blue thing, yeah.
You might be correct that like if mutants appear like right now in the MCU, like next movie something happens, humans start mutating. Maybe initially they won't be hated. I think some religious people would initially hate them, but maybe the majority of the population doesn't. But once you have a few do Scarlet Witch incidences where they blow up fucking buildings by accident, that's when it's going to spread really quick.
And they're gonna. I feel like they're already gonna hate them though, because humans immediately dislike what they don't understand, and like off impact, like all this just immediately. Like, we don't give anything a chance. We don't say, well, let's see if this thing won't bite us, or let's see if this thing we can trust this thing. Let's talk to this thing. It's just like, oh, that's different from everything I've seen up until this point. Kill it. Humans will kill it. It shouldn't live. And that's humans. And I think that's the whole point of X-Men. It's showing that no matter how you look, no matter what it is, you're going to be hated because they don't understand. Like, Bobby's own parents hated him. Like, dang, bro. Like, y'all technically y'all did this to me. like what?
And also, I think it'd be really cool to show a little bit of truth, like show like the fake nice. Like, you know how you go to a place and everybody's like super nice and you feel like you belong, but as soon as something happens, everything changes. Everybody turns on you. And like I would like to see that happen for mutants.
Like, that's like I've been watching Young Justice.
Oh yeah, that's a good show.
I've been watching Young Justice, but I had to like rewatch it because I think I finished like the first season and then I just disappeared. And I was like, you know what, we're gonna rewatch just because we're gonna rewatch. But it's happening on Young Justice. Like, other aliens came in and sullied the world's mind on the Justice League simply because the Justice League messed up like once in all our years of protecting y'all. We messed up once. These people came down, sowed some discord, and changed the whole narrative, right? And I think that can happen within the MCU, because you can go to WandaVision. If you look at Wanda, she's protected the world. There's footage of her protecting us against Ultron. There's footage of her trying to save people in that African country. You know, she killed some people like it wasn't her fault. Like, she did her best. You know, things happen in an accident, but she's been on record saving the world, and then she had a breakdown like a human does, and it wiped all the good she did essentially. Right. So
okay, oh my god, you just gave me a crazy idea. Okay, what if like mutants, people were kind of like on the fence with mutants, but then the Friends of Humanity, like a group or something, started coming out with like YouTube videos of people who've been affected by mutants, like documentary style, like black and white, and just people tell various stories of when they were manipulated, tortured, just taken advantage of, and that just like really starts getting people thinking like wait, these mutants are doing this to us, like. And then when you have somebody like Magneto who says like, we're better than you, you shouldn't even be here. Like, we're the new race now. And that kind of gets to and show that mutants have nobody really defending them. You know, like that's how the mutant hysteria starts, because like there's no one saying like, hey, mutants aren't really that bad, because like there's not that many of them, and most
honestly,
of them are X-Men.
Or how would you? I feel like in this new world, in this multiverse world that we're getting from the MCU, I feel like mutants have always been available, especially since they retconned Wanda's origin story to make us realize that she's always been a mutant. It's just like very latent, very like small abilities that she was doing that we really didn't know. So it lets me know that like there are other mutants in the world. Either their abilities haven't been unlocked yet, or it's just like right underneath the surface that it's not really causing any damage. But I think because the snap, and it snapped twice. Actually, no.
Twice on Earth, once.
Yeah, twice on Earth. Yeah. So twice on Earth. Even though I'm gonna say this too, even though it wasn't on Earth, how far does that snap go out? How far does that radiation kind of like penetrate? You know,
I think
everybody felt it. It's like a wave. It's like kind of like a tsunami wave.
The third snap might have even been in our solar system. It might have been.
True.
Oh, never mind. Titan. I keep forgetting Titan is not our solar system in the movies.
Everybody. No, it's not. But also though, but then again, whatever solar system that's in, how other many creatures got affected by that too. So like, there's no telling. Like maybe the snap creates some stuff that we don't know it does. And I feel like that'll be a smart way for them to usher in mutants. Also, with the multiverse is a good way to usher in mutants, because people are always asking like, so we're the X-Men and we in New York this entire time. They ain't did nothing. Like Thanos and came down to us, because it would make more sense if they weren't on our universe, like in our universe. But
they can do something like the incursion, like all these universes are dying and like they all kind of converge into one. Wow, that'd be really interesting how they would do that.
My theory is because Hugh Jackman doesn't want to come back as Wolverine and stuff, so a lot of the original actors don't want to play them anymore. So I think we're getting all new actors. So I
don't think it's they don't want to come back. I just think Disney doesn't want them back.
No. Hugh Jackman has said, like, he's like, after Logan, he was like, I'm good, I'm done.
I know.
And I think the only thing he said he'll come back for is if he does a movie with like Deadpool with Ryan Reynolds. I think that's the only thing he said he'll come back for.
So
Hugh Jackman said that, but everybody else, they're like, they're not calling. They're like, no.
Well, obviously, what's her name? Famke, who played the original Jean, like she was pissed that they didn't ask her to come back. So.
Oh man.
My theory how we're going to do the incursion is that the X-Men animated is coming back. Imagine if the final episode of the animated show, it's the incursion. Their universe dies and they have to leave their universe, and then they pop through a portal and they become live action.
Yeah,
Scooby-Doo.
Honestly,
that'd be cool.
MJ, I kind of fuck with it. I like that.
Yeah. We're gonna keep all the lore and backstories of them all, and they're popped into our universe.
I like that. Well, we know they got an alien invasion coming. I mean, like not alien, but Secret Wars. I think Secret Invasion. Yeah, I'm mixing all three of them together. But they got like Secret Invasion coming, and they're gonna bring back Kobe Smulders, Maria Hill. So I'm like excited for that.
Hey, she's dope. I like her.
I enjoyed Maria Hill. I was just mad they didn't give her more to do.
Right? Yeah. Like I don't know. I just always thought like, man, that's Fury's eldest daughter, huh? Mm-hmm. Like if like Captain America, Black Widow, and Maria Hill were kids, I was like, oh yeah, that's his eldest. That's the one who never left home.
Captain Marvel is the disowned.
No. That's like the
that's like his sister, because they kind of like bonded. So like that's their auntie. You know what I mean? Like because she was with him in the thick of it. Like they discovered like this all together. Like he discovered aliens because of her, and she discovered the Earth because of him. So that's his sister.
Yeah.
And that's their auntie.
Right.
And I would love that family. Like, listen, and I'm like, I really wish like they would listen to like fans a little bit more. And I'm not saying listen and take everything we say and do it, but some of us got really good ideas or to like how we would want things to like be in this world, because if you think about it, this first 10 years, barely been in a relationship. The only relationship we really saw was between Peggy and Steve. And it wasn't so thrown in your face that you were like, ugh, on to the next scene.
What about Tony and Pepper?
A little bit of that.
I don't like them.
Right. All right. Tony and Pepper.
Tony and Pepper, Steve and Peggy. Widow and Hulk.
Widow and Steve.
I don't even say.
I'm kidding.
Steve and Sharon.
Steve and Sharon
was a little
oh, that was gross.
No, it's very gross. But if you think about it, like they were very low.
Right.
They were very like it wasn't a lot, and it was just sprinkled in. And I prefer that than like full blown relationship.
No, they did show a superhero having sex in the first 10 years. Tony Stark in the first Iron Man, he slept with that reporter in the beginning of the movie.
Barely.
No romance though. Like
barely. Have you seen Eternals?
No. Yep. I don't. I work the next day. No, that's I'm kidding.
Okay. Have you seen Eternals or no?
No. I hear it's exhausting.
It's not. Well, to me, that's my opinion. Other people might think it's exhausting. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. But if I'm gonna tell you this though, if you compare what happened in Eternals to what Tony did, it don't compare. This is the first time in the MCU in the Eternals that you saw like a sex scene, like for real.
Well, I always assumed it was Disney. And all the sex happened.
I mean, it's very Disney. Even in Eternals, it's very Disney, but it was still like, okay, this is a new shade. We're going different in phase 4.
Okay, all right. I'm going to watch it next week. I'll see it next week.
I'm not sure that's enough to say they're going in a different direction. Like, I'm worried that we're not going to get like a Scott and Jean, like a true, good, powerful romance.
They're really good together. They're like Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie and Mr. and Mrs. Smith. That's how efficient they are.
Probably
I'm
never.
gonna say they're trying to kill each other.
No. I mean, at the end when they were like on the same page. That's what I meant.
Unfortunately, we're probably never getting a Black Panther in a Storm either.
No, we can get that. Alternate reality. Then we can have a story where like an alternate reality Black Panther.
Well, Kevin Feige said that they're never recasting Black Panther, so he's right. It's never going to happen.
I personally don't believe
it doesn't have to be a recasting. It could just be an alternate reality Black Panther.
That's still recasting. That's literally the definition of a recast.
No. The Black Panther in MCU, he's still dead, and we get like something that happens where they have to bring in other timelines, and then it's just like a quick thing.
And that's a recasting in the movie. Like that's a recasting, even if it's character, because they're still T'Challa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that'll be recasting T'Challa.
I'm thinking that's a different character. Like
I see what she's saying, and I kind of go between you two because like think of like the Spider-Man movie. If the Spider-Man show up, that means they're all they're all Peter Parker, but different appearances.
Right.
But at the same time, in this Spider-Man movie, our Peter Parker is not dead, so it's a bit of both.
You know what?
I'm just saying. It's
always.
But in the technical sense, that'll be like recasting because that's what they did with Toby, Andrew, and Tom. That's still a recasting down the line. So he said, Feige said he ain't gonna do that with Black Panther. So.
I don't believe him, but
I think it's a little weird because
I feel like in this era they're not gonna do it. I think because these movies ain't gonna stop. So I think maybe in 15, 20 years, they're going to recast Black Panther easily. They're going to do something. But right now, I feel like it's too fresh because I feel like how many years did it take for them to recast Superman?
Like, you know how fast they
after Christopher Reeves, like in a live action film, it took years.
You know how fast it took them for the recast War Machine after Terrence Howard spoke up?
But he didn't die though. War Machine, Terrence Howard didn't die.
They will drop you.
He didn't die though.
I know.
And he wasn't a beloved human as well. So
Terrence Howard's is trash.
I wish Disney would poll the audience. What does the audience want? Mm-hmm. If the audience wants to respect Chad Boseman's death and and have his character die off also, okay, fine. But if the audience wants to recast him, that's what they should do.
I don't want them to recast him because I feel like I'm gonna die on the Superman hill. Like, they didn't recast Superman for a long time because of Christopher Reeve, because they felt like he was like the top tier Superman in film, and I feel like, why can't Chadwick Boseman get that same respect?
That's true. I get that, but
I'm not saying forever, because obviously we got other Superman out here. Because to me, Henry Cavill is a great Superman
of this generation.
For sure. Honestly, even of other generations, to be honest, because it's just aesthetically it's more pleasing than past. That's what I'm saying. Like, aesthetically it's more pleasing. But I feel like if we can give Christopher Reeves that respect, we can give Chadwick Boseman that respect. And then somewhere down the line, of course, recast him, make it different, all that kind of stuff.
The reason they didn't recast a Superman, though, is because they didn't think another one could do well, right? They thought he was too good of a performance that another one could do well.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's what I feel. That's what I feel, because they had other Superman, but it wasn't until because I think like the other Christopher Reeve or George Reeves, there he is. George Reeves was like, I'm like, Christopher, no, so George Reeves was doing it, and they were like, oh, this is great. And then when they started doing live action and Christopher Reeves came into it, people didn't think anybody could touch, because if you really look at Christopher Reeves, he was honestly Clark Kent, bubbling, glasses. To this day, I do this to my glasses because he did it. I do this to this day because he made it look like it was like something cool to do. And now I just do it because this is something naturally that I do. Like, I do this a lot. I be like, I do that because of Christopher Reeve. So like, I think they felt like he put a stamp on this character. And it wasn't until like years later that they decided to and I mean like film wise, to have another person step into that role, because they end up having Brandon Routh, and people, they shat on him so hard, and I didn't have a problem with.
He was
Superman.
fine.
I didn't have a problem with Superman Returns. Like, I didn't have a problem with that. And then it wasn't until the Henry Cavill Man of Steel that they were like, okay, but that took years. And I feel like everybody vying for Chadwick Boseman, who I feel is a really great T'Challa, not only in the acting that he did, but like in the sensibility that he brings, the strength that he brings different ways, is a really good T'Challa, like something we won't really get again. And also the dedication that behind the scenes that Chadwick Boseman put into this character. I don't think we should just be like dismissive of that. I think he should get that same respect as any actor that has before him.
Okay. All right. I have a question. Is Chadwick Boseman better in his side appearances? Is he more memorable in his side appearances than he is in his own movie? Because if you remember, Black Panther, he got overshadowed by everybody else. And Chadwick Boseman, he's better in the he's stronger in those other characters. In those other movies.
You mean like in other films? Okay, yeah. I was like, what you mean?
I think there's an argument to be made that in Civil War was the best we saw of Black Panther. He was pissed off, he was angry, he was vengeful. Mm-hmm. It was the most dynamic we saw him. It was every time he showed up on screen, it's like, oh my god, he could kill someone right now.
Right. Yeah. I think a better way to say it, it's like with rap. They say the artists, when they're featured on a song, they're way different than they are when they have their own album. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So like,
some people are better as feature artists,
right,
than they are doing their own songs. And so you're asking if Chadwick Boseman is better as a featured artist in the MCU, or as he's better as a lead in other films?
Is he more memorable in his features than he is in his own movie?
I mean, he was only in one feature in one movie?
He was in a couple. Infinity War. He was in Civil War.
I barely call them features. But I mean, but I guess you could. I mean, because the features, they don't give a length of time on features.
That was a really good first impression. Like, he came in.
Civil War is an amazing first impression, and I think that's why everybody was excited for Black Panther, because they were excited to see what happened. But I feel like what people don't get is that at the end of that, he chose to not give into his anger. So that trickled into Black Panther. So you saw a more level-headed person in Black Panther than you did in Civil War. He was a person built off emotion. He just lost his father. He had to step into the role. Well, he already had the role for a little bit, but he had to step into the role of being a king, had something to do. And he couldn't give in to anger like he did in Civil War and realize that it was consuming him. So I think people love the aggressive aspect of characters sometimes, but then don't like when the character tones down, because to me it's the same as people love Infinity War because it was very shoot 'em up, bang bang, and then didn't like Endgame because they had to calm down for a little bit. And they're like, that first half of Endgame is stupid. And I'm like, but it informs the story in a great way. It's just that we not killing aliens right now, like, and that's why you're mad, like. But that's how I feel about Chadwick in his role.
No, I don't. Honestly, I don't think they should recast him. I think he should get the Christopher Reeve treatment. Mm-hmm. Like you know what? For the next decade and a half, nobody's touching it. No one's touching it. Fine, let's do this. Let's keep on with his younger sister taking over. Cool. And this just right off Black Panther say he's off doing some other thing. He's off in the city of the dead. I don't know. He wanted to be a monk.
No, or you actually retire the character of T'Challa.
I mean,
and then you let a new storyline pick up somewhere where there's a new version of T'Challa doing something else. Like, I feel like in the MCU right now, I feel like we could just, because nobody can ever explain to me like why it was okay for Christopher Reeves to be immortalized like that, and why it's not okay for Chadwick to be immortalized like that.
I think he has been immortalized. I mean, they're not
I meant in the sense of like giving the character a break. Okay. That's what I mean.
Oh, not using him.
Using him.
No, well, no. I mean, they don't have to use the character, but like the mantle, like you guys were talking about, the mantle.
That's what I'm talking about. We were talking about recasting.
Oh, yeah, no. Don't leave him alone. Like,
but that's what I'm saying. Like, I was saying you could even say that he died. You could say that something happened and he died, and that's why the mantle got passed on to Shuri. But I feel like people are so quick to be like, man, we need a new Black Panther, but nobody was like, man, we need a new Superman. Like everybody was okay to let Christopher Reeve's Superman be in the ether, but nobody's okay. But I don't.
Maybe this is not a good argument to bring up, but I'm trying to think of what Chadwick Boseman would have wanted. A lot of people say that. A lot of people will be like, I wonder what Chadwick would have wanted.
Right.
And honestly, the only person that can answer that is his people that's close to him, I think.
From what I've seen of him, he seems like a very humble guy. He probably would appreciate it being canceled after him, not canceled, but like stopped after him. But I think he would argue that it should have been recasted, but he would probably ultimately like really like the idea that he owned the character so well that they just.
He could go both ways though. Two things can be right though. You know what I mean? Like, so it can go both ways. Like, he could easily be like, thank you, but also, hey, like, let's keep it going because I'm excited to see you. I'm pretty sure he would like to be alive to continue the role. But I think there's an interview where he said that I would have to find it to make sure, but I think there was an interview where he said that if they had to, like, if anybody had to take the mantle, or if they had to recast Black Panther, he wanted Letitia Wright Shuri to be the next Black Panther, because he said that he saw how beneficial it could be for a woman to be in that role, in that lead. But I would have to find that. It was, I don't know where, like, that's in the ether somewhere. That's somewhere in there. But
I'm down with that. I'm down with taking it.
I'm worried where they're gonna go with his character. I'm worried they're just gonna kill him off, and if they kill him off, I worry that it's gonna almost not ruin his character, but it affect it. I still think there's something we can do with this character. I think what we do with him is Black Panther goes off to establish the intergalactic empire, and he gets sent back in time, and he died 300 years ago, but he founded the intergalactic Wakanda.
That'd be really cool.
I mean, I'm down for that too. I mean, me personally, they don't have to go to the extreme. I know I say they should, but like, they don't have to go to the extreme of like killing his character off and within the MCU in case they wanted to recast and bring him back, and that's fine too. But I feel like right now, let's move on from the narrative of T'Challa being Black Panther and continue on with what a Black Panther in this universe can do. Because now you have if Shuri is to be Black Panther, you have a Black Panther that's not only, obviously she's going to be strong because I think in the comics she recreates the heart-shaped herb to take or whatever. So not only that, you also have a genius as the Black Panther with she probably have different tech, different abilities, different everything. So like that'll be interesting to see. And it's interesting to see her mind frame in the sense that like her brother is gone, and now whereas she was once this like 15, 16-year-old kid having fun in the world, just creating stuff, now she has to lead, you know what I mean? And that's going to be interesting to see.
And you bring up a really interesting point that all the heart-shaped herbs are destroyed. So she would, to honor her ancestors and the thing of Black Panther, she would have to recreate it. She would have to.
In the comics, she creates a synthetic version of it. So we shall see.
Also, if you really think about it, like she's in the same position as T'Challa. I cannot say his name. You know, shut up. Though he was in the first movie, in Civil War, he just lost his dad. Like, like she's in that same place.
Yeah, that parallel is crazy.
Yeah, that'd be really cool to see.
I'm excited for it.
I'm digging it. Oh boy.
But I'm just happy for all these movies because if I'm being really honest, I tell people this all the time, and people be like, "No, I'm gonna still leave this." But I always say, I'm into the MCU. Yeah, I'm heavy into the MCU. They don't need no trailer for me. I'm gonna go see the movie regardless. Like it's to the point now where trailers are ruining stuff for me, and I'm just like, just give me a title card that says like Secret Invasion, and I'm like, all right, I'm there. Like, you know, like I don't need much.
No. Seriously, they need to just like drop the teaser. Like out of nowhere, don't say nothing about it. Don't like. Okay,
I don't think there should be like a teaser, official trailer, and then second official trailer. I think it should be a teaser and nothing else. A teaser and nothing else.
Yeah, no.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, it's like this is what they do. Stop with the public. With the advertising. YouTube does all this work for you. Drop the teaser out of nowhere. Drop it in the middle of the night, and then people are like, "What?" And then you drop the real trailer out of nowhere, and then just let the frenzy just kind of like build up. You say like, "Yeah, this is the real trailer," and then like don't announce who's gonna be in it, and then the movie comes out. People will be so like, all right, it'll be like Dark Knight back in 2008. Like they were just dropping like little clues and stuff, and you didn't know anything about the movie, but it was like it created a fever pitch. I don't know, like I swear, like they need to stop doing these oversaturations. Stop telling the entire movie. Thor Ragnarok would have been amazing if they did not advertise that Hulk was going to be in the movie.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
Can you imagine being in the theater and then like Thor, he's getting ready.
You just as excited as Thor was when he saw him.
Like seriously, you like, and so like you're right there with him. You're right. It's like that. Yeah, that's his friend from work. Yeah, that is his friend from work. I didn't know. No, it's their public relation, their marketing really needs to step up. Like less is more.
Mm-hmm. No, it honestly is because I'm gonna down this hill too. I'm gonna down a lot of hills tonight, you guys.
Bunch of hills. Call you
bunch of hills. I am not. Wow. I think I'm gonna leave off of that. No, I did not like Thor Ragnarok.
Really?
I did not like that film.
Really? Like, did you like parts of it or the entire thing?
No, there were parts that I enjoyed. Like when he finally found his true power, that we found out that Mjolnir was just a conduit. That it actually was like within him that he could channel it. I love that when he broke through the people and he just, he was killing everybody. I like that. There are parts with him and Loki that, like, to me, just makes Infinity War even more devastating when he dies, because they had this moment. There are elements that I like, but as a whole, I felt like it was too Guardians of the Galaxy for me. And the first two Thors are more darker in tone, and I like that. Like, people think I'm nuts because I like the first two Thors. Like, I even like the second one, like, because they're more darker in tone. There's more heavier subject matter, and then this one was just so bright and slapsticky. Like, when he threw the ball at the window and it bounced back and it hit him and he fell, it's like, okay, God of Thunder. It's like, they made it too much like the Chris Hemsworth show. He said he seemed more like Chris Hemsworth than he felt like Thor.
I agree. The tone was completely off. 3/4 of the movie was all laugh and jokes, and then all of a sudden at the end, oh my God, everything's being destroyed and everyone's dying.
Yeah, it was just, because to me, no offense to Taika or nothing like that, it just felt like he was very enamored with the first two Guardians of the Galaxy. He was just like, oh, I can make Thor like this. Because it felt very like, it just felt very Guardians of the Galaxy. And I was like, we already have that. We didn't have anything like Thor in the MCU. You know what I mean? And the fact that they switched so heavy on the tone, I was just like, not
they
my
cut
favorite.
off his hair. He never talks like an Asgardian anymore.
He's super Australian now. It's just like, he doesn't, I was like, where's the Shakespeare in the Park? Like, I was like, I missed it. Like, to me, that informed Thor's character. I don't care how many times he come to Earth. He been an Asgardian for over 1,500 years. I think is what he said in Infinity War. You don't lose that accent.
Yeah.
See, the thing about it is, also, I didn't know Tyga did Thor 3. I didn't know the rapper Tyga did it. You said...
I said Tyga. Stop playing. We're gonna fight. It's fine. We're gonna fight.
All right. But here's the thing. Thor 1 was trying to be Shakespeare. It was trying to be Hamlet or something. Thor 2 wanted to be Game of Thrones. This one wanted to be Guardians of the Ragnarok wanted to be Guardians of the Galaxy. And like you, I actually like the fact that there were secret troops going on in Asgard in Thor 2. Like, hey, Odin, he was a shady dude. He was so shady. Like, oh man.
But I feel like you saw the through line to Odin from the first one to the second one. Yeah. And then you saw it all came to fruition in the third one. You found out that he used to conquer worlds and not help them with his daughter that he kept secret. To me, that's a heavy subject that got overshadowed by my man jumping out the thing with 2 guns and shooting everybody, or with a shake weight while he was pillaging. Like, I was just like, I was like, what am I watching right now?
Also, here's something we're not really talking. What about the mom? The mom just sat by and let this happen?
She died.
Wow.
I'm thinking that
she died. What do you think?
No. I mean, like, no, with Hela, like, that's her child. Like,
I don't think Freya is Hela's child.
Frigga. I don't think Frigga had Hela. I don't think that's her child.
Which one of her kids? Like, only Thor.
But speaking
of Loki, because she raised Loki.
What?
No. Crazy Odin waging war. I think there might be an Eternals connection there.
That'd be crazy. No, it's just like, I don't know. I like secret histories. I like finding out that leaders have to make tough decisions, and then having for people, and then having the people that they did it for hate turn on him and say, "Oh, you're a monster!" Like, bitch, I did this for you.
No, and that's exactly what her thing was, and I actually enjoyed that. It was like, she was the firstborn. Also, y'all brought her in when she's the goddess of death, and I think her and Thanos had the thing, and it was just like, and y'all just killed her.
You felt it. Like, if
I was like, okay. Also, honestly, that would have been a better reason for him to want to snap the world, because they killed her instead of him being like, I'm trying to help the universe. And it's where you could just double resources. You just, like, he should have came on a vengeance. to be like, I want to wipe this world out because y'all killed my girl, but whatever.
Like, I was on my way to get. That's why I was getting the Infinity Stone. I was gonna get her.
Not I was gonna get her.
No, get her out, bust her out. Like, she get her out of her prison.
I'm trying to figure out who her parents is. Go ahead.
I might be crazy, but I feel like killing off entire populations of planets is too connected to the Eternals and the whole thing of like
no, it is
inside of planets.
It is. But since he hasn't seen Eternals, we can't really talk about that.
Really?
But also, I tell people this too. I feel like he's still wrong. Right? I feel like he's still wrong because again, who asked you? You don't do anything on a global scale like that without, polling the world, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, because I feel like if he went to them and was like, yo, this has been happening on many planets for many worlds. I can do this to help y'all. Might have been a different story.
The problem is
nobody really knows what's good for them. Like he saw it happen on his planet. He saw what happened when they. No.
I got Eternals information that you don't have. That you don't.
So
I'm thinking about the Titan that Thanos was talking about.
No. I got some Titans information. I know MJ know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the problem is that he destroys the stones, and he did not do a permanent solution. So the fact I could totally understand him if he was like, okay, every 10,000 years we kill half the universe, and it stops the Eternals thing from ever being able to happen. But that's not really.
But also, but again, who gives him the right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that's my biggest issue with Thanos. Who gave you the right? I don't care if you saw this happen, and you can easily say he had PTSD from his own planet, and he saw this happen before, and he don't want this to happen again. But Gamora said it to him. Nobody asked you. I don't care if people don't know what's right for them. Then let us die and suffer because we chose to not massacre half the population at random. You don't get to make those choices for people.
So you're not cool with Punisher Thanos?
No.
Another one I heard that I really like.
Frank Castle has the same thing. Nobody asked him to start killing all these people. It's the same concept. Frank
Castle is a little different because he went through like a trauma in the sense that like wasn't his family massacred or whatever.
Yeah, and like seeing your entire world get destroyed, but he
wanted to destroy it. Like Thanos preached genocide, and they was like, "Bruh, no, you can't do that." I'm talking like plainly in the movies. He was like, he told them like, "Yo, this is going to happen," and they were like, "So let us suffer." And
yeah, but it's not murder; it's random.
Nice call. That was good.
Nice one. Like good. Nice one. I like that. No,
but everybody was like, "But isn't that genocide?"
No. It's random though. It's just like one. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Out. One
every 2 and 4 gotta go. Like no, like you know. But to me it goes right. Oh snap! I almost dropped all my water. It goes right back to the Charles Xavier talk. Who gave you don't have the right to make a decision like that without it's essentially informing people on what the decision. Because I felt like even if he had a panel of people, if it was him, maybe Mora, maybe somebody else, he didn't have anybody to bounce anything off of. He just solely ran in and was like, I'm doing this because I think it's right. And that's what Thanos did without incorporating anybody else into his thought process because he thought what he was doing was right. That can't happen. Okay. That makes you a villain immediately. I don't care what nobody's saying.
Okay, all right. So if he would have had Beast and Mortimer Taggart and like talking like what should we do? And they decide like, hey, let's do that. Would they be wrong?
I think that if Mora was a part of it, it would be more to it than like, let's do that. She would probably be like, let's do that, but here's some addendums to like how we should go about doing it. Yeah. We don't keep it a secret for the majority of her life and then something bad happens and it started to unlock her memory, and now we gotta like with the fallback, now we gotta figure out what to do. I think Moira was smart enough to be like, yeah, we should probably do that because she will probably kill us all because she's in an emotional state right now. But somewhere along the line, she has to know the truth. I think I
don't know about Moira. Moira, like, I don't know. This is comic. Like, Moira is.
But I'm not going comic Moira. I'm going movie. Moira seems to have a better head on her shoulders.
My theory is that every time we see Moira, that's a different one. That's one of her lives. So like, yeah, that's like.
I mess with that.
Think about it. We have we got the cartoon, got the movies, got the comic books.
Yeah. I mess with that. But also, like, even in the movies where she was played by Rose Byrne, like, she didn't seem to be any different or age any different than most people. So, and we were jumping decades. Like,
you know what's weird about her? She has a different appearance every resurrection. That's weird. You would think she would have the same appearance every resurrection, but no, she changes appearance every time she dies.
Mm-hmm.
No, but all right, but Moira to me is super shady because one, she got engaged with Xavier, and then she dumped him while he was at war. That is, and then left him for another dude. And then later on, with Proteus. That would be a really great movie, by the way.
I don't even know how they had sex to have that child. I don't understand.
It was all by osmosis. That's all.
So check this out. Like she calls Charles like, hey, can you help me out with this mutant? He doesn't say that it's her son. Doesn't tell him it's her son. It's like, hey, it's this mutant that I'm helping. And they find out it's Moira's son with the dude that he left her for. That she left him for. Like, if she would have come on, if you were given that information by an ex, would you help or would you like?
Yes, because you Charles Xavier and that's your job.
Can you be petty for a minute?
No.
Your house is an orphanage.
No.
What are you talking about? Is he gonna take a child? His house is an orphanage. What do you mean?
It's more of a nature preserve because he only takes the pretty mutants. Storm, pretty. Jean Grey, pretty. Wolverine,
pretty.
Tell Blob that.
You need a bottom of the barrel, okay? Everybody.
Not tell Blob that.
No, okay. Hey, pretty privilege is real.
No, pretty privilege is a thing. But...
No, but like I'm just saying more.
Yeah, but it doesn't outweigh like. Because it's gonna come off a little weird, but pretty privilege. It's not more powerful than like white privilege. Like I think Angel being white is more important than him having angel wings.
I
feel like
they're pretty.
But I feel like it's close. I feel like it's close. I'm not saying one outweighs the other. I feel like sometimes pretty privilege might be here, then you'll flip, and then white privilege will be here because like I feel like you just go back and forth sometimes because I've seen people get some stuff and I'm just like, am I not pretty enough?
Hey, you're pretty enough.
I'm like, am I not pretty enough? And then I would see something, I'd be like, am I not white enough? Am I not light enough? I'm whiter than most people. But so it flips. I feel like it flips. It flips.
Hey, just saying, I think there would be like a pretty privilege or based on power. Like, who would be Iceman would get pretty privilege as opposed to like somebody like Maggot. Or Marrow would be shunned, but like Kitty Pryde would be like, oh my god.
Or one element would be like, but Polaris. She could commit a crime that her father commit, and she would probably be forgiven quicker than her father.
That's so true. I'm sorry. It's. I mean,
that's not a bad. So
I mean, it's like, hey, your daddy ain't shit, but hey, you killed a guy, but he hit me. Okay, well, I get it. I get it. Oh god, the Hank Pym defense. Okay, well, man, this has been fun, you guys. And and it actually proved a point. We can start talking about Dark Phoenix, and like as soon as it like, there's nothing else to talk about. The movie is trash.
But I brought it back around though.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you kept us on the movie topic. I appreciate that.
You know, back around.
Hey, movies are great, man. Like
I host my own podcast too. I know how to do this. Like,
oh yeah. Like, hey, I'm trying to get on that podcast too, because like I got
to get it back. Once I get I think my friend is supposed to buy me some editing software maybe for Christmas or my birthday or something. And because my birthday is like 5 days after Christmas.
Yeah. I was to ask, like
we'll see how that goes, because I want to start doing like reactions and stuff like I used to. I haven't done a reaction in like 5 months or something like that, because I lost my job and I was like, can't pay for this editing service anymore. So, but hopefully that will change.
Yeah, got to. Yeah, I got to.
And then I can interview you for a change.
Nice. It's been nice. MJ, brother, thank you for coming in. Black Girl Marvel. She'll beat your ass and make a movie about it.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, don't let his narrative of me make it seem like I'm not approachable and I'm not a nice person, because I love with my whole heart. But if you test me, you feel me?
She'll go Helga Pataki on you.
I've learned to not trust Gray on anything when it comes to women. So
I respect that.
Never. Don't trust me at all. I'm a crazy person. Like, Ellen's a man. I just say crazy stuff.
You don't say, no.
Yeah, I know. I could list off a few of your theories right now.
Hey.
Hey, let's keep that off the recording room table.
I also said New Edition would get back together. I mean, who knew? Nobody knows New Edition.
It was nice to meet you, MJ.
Yeah.
Cool.
Same. Nice talking to you.
This is 1407 Great Muckin Lane. See you soon.